What is going on, herd? Welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning into the video. Today we are going to be reviewing the Cayo Perico heist. If you guys watched the Vito Classic video a couple days ago, you would be expecting this video, and you will also be expecting me to be ranting a little bit because I just don't feel like this heist delivered. Let's not babble about it. Let's get right into it, shall we? So I'm going to try to cover every little aspect that this heist offered to us, and then as in-depth as I can, I'm also going to try to explain how I think Rockstar dropped the ball with this thing. First off, the music locker. Now, not everything is wrong with this heist, right? They did do some things right. I don't think the music locker is really one of them. We've seen some construction outside the dime, and, you know, we just didn't know. So Rockstar came out and said, oh, well, you're getting another nightclub, guys. That's what we're delivering. Hope you're happy. Like, everyone was kind of confused, but everyone came to the general consensus that we were here to meet this guy, Madrazo's son.
Oh, hey.
So those predictions were correct. It was just to meet him, and literally, unless Rockstar has something else in mind for the music locker here, all this really was another nightclub. It's a nightclub that we don't use other than just to meet that one guy and dance. And this dancing is kind of the repetitive factor to this major update, isn't it? We essentially got a freaking dance update with a heist attached to it. So that's all you're really getting out of the music locker, and that's all I'm really expecting to get out of it. I don't see what else Rockstar would be adding into this that already isn't here, and I don't really get why this was even added in. Why couldn't we just meet him somewhere elsewhere on the map where it loads in a little loading screen, just like Lester when we met the individuals to do the Diamond Casino heist? Why couldn't we do it like that? Nope, that's not what they wanted to do. They wanted to add in a little extra, and, you know, I'm not saying that's wrong, but what did we... I mean, it was worthless. It's part of the update that was added in for really nothing. So next in line is the old Gigantosaurus, the submarine. And this is probably debatable the best addition that we got in this whole update. What makes this cool is you can get it for the base price. It's just over $2 million. And $2 million, I mean, you almost make your money back when you do the heist for the first time. You can do the different color upgrades. All of them cost the same, which is also cool. We went just with the solid black. I thought that was the best looking. Switch flag, all the flags cost the same as well. When it's all added up and you want to do everything, aside from your 2.2 whatever million it is in the beginning, you're going to need another 6.8 million. That is bringing you well into the $9 million range. So for $9 million, what are you getting? And let's refrain from that. For $2 million, what are you getting? Because I didn't buy any of that stuff and I was able to do the heist just fine. Which got me thinking, is this just another one of those mega yachts? And in 2-3 months, this is going to be just kind of a worthless piece of machinery sitting out in the damn ocean? I, have yet to answer that. I guess we'll see. First off, the design of the submarine inside is kind of a little confusing in the beginning, but it's realistic. I like the way it's laid out. Once you do figure it out, though, you kind of figure out how to maneuver it. Like I said, though, I did not buy the Sparrow or the Kraken, so both of my bays are empty. Got the old torpedo room, a little kitchen area. This is very detailed. I really like it. Oh, we got a Molotov cocktail there. Here we got the old Russian himself. Again, lots of detail. I don't know how realistic any of this stuff is. I'm not familiar with submarines by any means, but yeah, it all looks cool. You can drive this thing. Oh, we're beached. I forgot. Some gun. So you buy the submarine, and that allows you to finally get to the island. Now, this would be the second time I'm setting up this heist, so it did save all of my old intel, which is very cool. It is going to make me approach the island a different way than I did before, which, again, interesting. It makes it almost worth it just to do it twice to see what's going on. Needless to say, it's time we go visit the island. So LSIA and the travel to the island, I think most people assumed this is how it was going to work. You were going to have to load in. I know some people were hoping it was going to be out on the main map, and, I just never figured that to be. And the reason why is because there's just no room to put an island that big. It limits you out. You would have to make this map bigger, and I just didn't see him doing that. So this whole approach here was fully expected to travel to and from the island. Oh, that's not the right one, though, is it? So basically, it brings us through this cutscene, and the cutscene has us landing in on the island. Beautiful island, really. I mean, the foliage is amazing. Denser, it's thicker. Look at all the trees. It just looks amazing. But this island is where this entire update starts plummeting downhill for the worst. So we travel, and we are now extremely limited to where we're at. You got guard number 1, guard number 2. Well, all right, well, we're just going to party. So now we have Music Locker 2.0, where we just sit here with our dance update. We got a dance update, guys. Look at what we got. It's amazing. Rockstar finally delivered 7 years later, and we are able to dance again. Just dance, dance, and dance, dance, and dance. All right, I'm over it already, all right? Great update. So the island itself is beautiful, and a lot of people people just said it was too small. I don't really think it's too small. I think even for what I'm going to say on what they slacked on and what they hugely dropped the ball, this is large enough. Now here's the deal. I know it's supposed to be a private island. It's El Rubio's island, this and that. Being that this is a game and they want to deliver more content, they should have went a slightly different route. They could have let this whole area still be El Rubio's and all held down by guards. Very hard to get into. You had to be, you know, all held down. But this area should have all been much more developed. Maybe this all should have been land. You know, a little village, a little shanty village. There should have been a couple crappy little shacks that we could have purchased one. Maybe a barber, a tattoo artist, a clothing shop, all which would have specific clothing and hairstyles only to the island where you'd have to travel here to get them. It would have taken a little bit more time, but guys, this is 7 years they've had to work on this. Now I get it, they haven't been working on this for 7 years, but when you're going to be delivering quote unquote the biggest update ever to see GTA Online, and you're finally going to release an addition to the map, you better deliver. And they did not. They did not deliver. And you know, I'm really not positive if you can go swim over there. It looks like you could swim all the way across and go over on the island and you'd be just fine. But the whole thing is you're going to be sneaking around, and as soon as a guard sees you, you're kicked off the damn island. So as awesome as this is to see a big map upgrade or a big map addition, it's almost worthless aside from the damn heist. And how many times do you want to play the same heist over and over? Head back to Los Santos this way through the cutscene, or you can try to get past the guards. They'll beat you down and you'll end up woken up on the beach. The island itself immediately have that foliage feel. It should have not been a private island. It should have been something like a more Cuba or a Puerto Rico style, like Narco Island, where it was just really ran by that one guy, but the guy didn't own the island. It would have made it tenfolds better for the player. The whole inability to free roam the island is a major loss. A major ball dropped there on Rockstar's part. With a few extra additions, this could have been literally, as they said, the largest update ever, not just with size and going off it as just the largest update we've ever had. No, like it could have been the greatest update you've ever added. I don't know if this really is. I don't know if this does stand up to the greatest update. So enough about the island. Let's move into the heist. First off, I am extremely glad to see that you can do this heist solo. And not only that, you can do the setups in invite-only sessions. Amazing. Those two things, 2 thumbs up on Rockstar's part. That was something that all the heists have been missing. Scouting the island, easy enough, not really a big deal. All of the setups were pretty simple as well. I did all of the setups solo on my own in invite-only sessions. There was a couple where you kind of want a partner for, but again, not a big deal at all. Being in an invite-only session, not having any griefers chasing after you, made it all easy. I already had the buzzard, and I just went into CEO, and I just moved around with the buzzard, and I would land the buzzard on the submarine, and it was as easy as that. The payout of the heist is fair enough. It's not terrible. It's not like astronomically great. I think there's potential to get almost 6 million. Just under 6 million is if you have all 4 people. You need 4 people going into that heist, which means you're going to be slicing it down depending on the percentages desired. It doesn't really equal out to be worth it. I don't know. Long story short, fair payout, not really complaining. The negatives start with having to travel everywhere on foot. Having to hike that whole damn thing. Everyone says it's a small island. Well, when you got to hike the one side all the way to the other side, it turns into a lot of smashing the X button, and it gets a little bit annoying. But again, not a huge downfall. It's just part of the heist. Secondly, another part of the heist that I get a little bit annoyed by is that stupid fingerprinting hacking. I've never been a fan of that. I think it's extremely annoying, very tedious, and I've just never really been great at it either. Player greed, and this was more on PS4 than it was on Xbox. Everyone wants 20-25%, even though they didn't help with any of the setups. I don't know why people feel like they're entitled to so much. On Xbox, almost everybody will go for minimum. And I felt like the reason was they had the common sense to know I didn't do any setups, and the setups take a while to do for every heist. So why would I be getting 20 or 25% of the cut of this heist for not doing any of the work to set up and get ready for this heist? Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because it's not a huge issue with this heist. You can do it solo if you want. Very nice, very good. But all in all, that's about all that's to be said about this heist. I mean, there's a lot of hiking, there's guards, you gotta be careful. You can go in just kind of Rambo style, or you can go in silent. You can do a couple different flyouts and fly-ins, and that's about the extent of it, really, when it comes down to it. So to see that the heist is just so bleh, and the island that the heist is on is not free roamable unless you're doing the heist, which is bleh. The whole thing is just bleh. In my opinion, not even close to the hype that it got on the biggest update of ever, and 7 years later you're going to get this. Especially when considering they did add in the new map and all that stuff, and you just can't utilize it how it really should be able to be utilized. No good. You may be asking, well, how would they have utilized it? If they did bring in the barber and that stuff, and they had the little village, is it going to be part of the main map? No, it would just be where you load it in. Like back on Xbox, where only 16 people could be loaded in at a time on that portion of the map. That's fine. You'll either load in over there, or you'll load in over here. here, and you can travel to and from, depending on where you are. 30 people in this mainland, and 16 people in the other one. Hell, only 10 people if they want to do it that way. I don't really care. The inability to free roam and the inability to have anything developed over there for the player is... So with everything spoken about, that brings us into the final aspect, and that's vehicles. Now, we haven't seen all of the vehicles released from this update. We are getting drip feed vehicles. I have looked at them. I don't know if anything really interests me. The Annihilator helicopter's cool. It's a cool addition to have, as well as this boat, and this is as well a big friggin' plane. That's pretty cool to see added. But the reality is, are any of these things really shock and awe value? I don't really think so. The boat's probably the closest thing that we would get to that, but I feel like this would just be blown up by a couple flyovers from anything. So unless you can really soup this thing up, I don't know. The Jeep we customized already. You can't put a top on it. It's kind of limited in what you can do to this thing. The wheels, there was a little kind of a glitch with the wheels I wasn't too pleased with, but again, nothing really to complain about other than for 1.1 million. That's way too much money, guys. That's all the things in Warstock, and then they recently gave us the Vito Classic, which I was not happy at all about. You can't bring it into races. It's $900,000 for something you would buy in the real world for like $500. $900,000. And with all of that, that sums up this update. That's everything we have. That's everything that we're enabled to. That's the biggest update that we're probably ever going to get on GTA 5. And guess what, guys? You have something to look forward to. GTA 5 is releasing on the new consoles in a half a year. Come on, Rockstar. Submarine, cool, yeah, but is it another yacht? That's yet to be determined. I really am kind of leaning in that area. It's kind of just another thing that's out in the ocean that's not going to get a lot of use after 2, 3, 4 months of online gameplay. The island as well. It is not going to get any use unless you're doing the heist, and the heist is going to get very annoying quickly because it's very bland. There's nothing special about it. My final rating on this thing, guys, 6.5 stars out of 10. It would have been higher. I mean, honestly, if they just would have had the island minorly developed, very minimally developed, and a better means of loading in and free roaming into that, would have been much closer to 9.5 stars there, with just little critiques to get that perfect 10 stars then. This is just my opinion. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about this. Judging off of the reaction from the last video where I generally spoke about these things, the community feels the same way. I'm not just ranting for no reason. This is something that people are getting fed up about. Maybe not if you've only been playing the game for a year or two. I've spent a lot of time and a lot of money on this game over the years, and this is not where I want to see it. They already ruined a lot of online free roaming with the Mark II Oppressor Edition years ago. I don't know. At this point in time, guys, I feel like it's just kind of, it's going in the wrong direction, and it's hard for me to not speak about it. Of course, I appreciate every single one of you tuning in, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing the videos if you're sharing the videos. With that said, as always, hope you all stay happy. Please stay positive, even when it feels like Rockstar are just doing it to you dirty. And we will definitely speak to you next time.
And then I think I need to sleep for a week.